Hey guys, here are the answers for your homework day 20. So just like the last video, instead of going over the notes, since this is review, I thought I'd go through some of your homework questions to help you guys out here. So last assignment, okay, if you guys remember, we did day number 19 and we worked with vertex form, okay? All right, today for day 20, okay, we're working with standard form, okay, which is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, remember that's called standard form, all right? All right, so let's go through example number 1 on your homework, all right? Does the graph open up or down? Well, just like in vertex form, if this is a positive a value, this graph is gonna open up, okay? It's gonna open up because that a value is positive. It's a happy parabola. All right, identify the vertex. Well, this is not as easy as vertex form, all right? So we're gonna have to do a little work. So A is equal to 2, B is negative 12, and C is 9, okay? To find the line of symmetry and the vertex, you take x is equal to the opposite of b over 2a, all right? So that means x equals, what's the opposite of negative 12? 12. And then 2 times a is, 2 times 2 is 4. So x is equal to 3. All right, so what that is that right there is my axis of symmetry, or the line of symmetry. And it's also the x coordinate of my vertex. So if I'm going to identify the vertex, I have 3 comma. I need to find the y coordinate. So I'm going to take that 3 and plug it back in here. So y is equal to 2 times 3 squared minus 12 times 3 plus 9. Let's do a little work in your head here. So this is 3 squared, which is 9. 9 times 2 is 18 minus 12 times 3 is 36, and then plus 9. Okay, 18 and 9 is 27 minus 36. And so that comes out to negative what? Negative 9? Negative 9. So that means that my vertex is at 3, negative 9. All right? Okay, that's good. Now, if you remember from our notes before, find the minimum value. All right, so it's going to be y equals negative 9. That's the minimum value. And what's my y-intercept? Okay, so my y-intercept is the c value right there in standard form. So my y-intercept is 0, comma 9. All right, identify the x-intercepts. All right, so this right here is where you guys are gonna have to either use quad formula, factoring, something like that, okay? All right, so let's see if we can, I don't know if this one's factorable or not, but let's just see here. So y equals 2x squared minus 12x plus 9, all right? Okay, multiply a times c, negative 12. All right, so for 18, I have 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Okay, none of those add up to negative 12 or have a difference of 12. So this is not factorable, so we're gonna have to probably use the quad formula, okay? If you guys remember, all right, x equals the opposite of b, so 12 plus or minus the square root, all right, b squared, which is going to be 144 plus negative 4 times a, which is 2, and then times c, which is 9, all over 2 times a, which is 4. So that right there, guys, is that quad formula that we had worked on before, okay? All right, so x equals 12 plus or minus. Let's go ahead and simplify that discriminant, that number that's under the radical sign. So I've got -4 times 2 times 9. All right, -4 times 2 times 9. And I'm going to add 144 to that, and I get 72 all over 4. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. Watch. I'm going to take 12 plus the square root of 72, enter, and divide that by 4. And I get x equals 5.12. And I'm going to take 12 minus the square root of 72 divided by 4. That's going to give me 0.879. All right. Okay. All right. So let's just double check to make sure that we have the right values there. So 2x squared minus 12x plus 9. I'm going to go to my table. You know what? I'm going to go to my graph. So let's graph this first of all. Okay. So my intercepts, okay, it looks like 0.879, which is right there. And so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there, 5.12. So it looks like my intercepts are in the right spot. This graph does open up. So I got that correct. All right, domain and range. Domain for this parabola is all real numbers, or you could say from negative infinity all the way to infinity. The range, okay, y is going to be, let's see here, greater than or equal to, and that minimum value, which is -9. So let's see, my vertex was what? 3, comma, -9. And so, so it looks something like, so my graph is going to look something like that. Okay? All right, so there's number 1, you guys, from day number 20's homework. What's nice about this, guys, everything's the same. The steps are exactly the same, okay? So we'll do one more together. I'm going to use a different color here. We'll do one more together and see if you guys, if this kind of rings a bell a little bit, all right? Okay, so let's go. So y equals -4x squared plus 24x plus 13. So those look like a little bit bigger numbers. It's fine. We can still do this problem, all right, with no issues. All right, just identify your A, B, and C. Okay, identify the well, first of all, does this graph open up or down? It opens down because of that -4. Identify the vertex. So x equals the opposite of B over 2 times A. So x is equal to 3. So far my vertex is 3 comma something. I'm going to take that 3, plug that back in. So y equals -4 times 3 squared plus 24 times 3 plus 13. Use your calculator. Be careful using your calculator when you do this kind of stuff, okay? All right. So we're going to have 3 squared, which is 9. 9 times 4 is -36 plus, okay, 24 times 3 and plus 13. So it gives me 49. Okay, so y equals 49. All right, this graph opens down, so this is going to have a maximum value at y equals 49. That's the top of your vertex there, the top of your parabola. Identify the y-intercept. Remember, the y-intercept is the c value. So y equals 13. And remember, that's only in standard form. So 0, 13. Identify the x-intercepts. All right. So I'm thinking that we're probably going to just have to use the quad formula. Or let me show you guys another method using your calculators. Okay. So let's go over here. Negative 4x. Zoom in a little bit. Negative 4x squared plus 24x and then plus 13. Now watch. All right, I'm going to graph this. So zoom 6. Okay, so I got an intercept there and an intercept there. By using second calculate right here, calculate, I can find the 0. All right. Now, your calculator is smart, right? So this thing goes on, this probably goes on forever. So let me see if I can find my cursor here. There it is. All right, my cursor is right there. Now, if I want to find that intercept, I need to tell my calculator where to look. Okay, so since the parabola is going in this direction from left to right, okay, it says where's the left boundary? As long as I'm to the left of that 0, I can hit enter. And then it says, okay, where's the right boundary? Well, if this is the left, this is the right. And then it says guess. I just go in the middle, and there's my 0. Okay, so x equals negative 1/2. And I can do the same thing over to the other side. So let's go second calculate 0. Let's get my cursor over there. Okay, so, oops, sorry guys. So here's what I do is just move the cursor over there. There's the left boundary, right boundary. Go back in the middle, and I get 6.5. So once again, you guys, all I did was I used second and then the calculate button, and I was able to find it finding the zeros there. Okay, so that's another way you can check, and you can use your technology to find those x-intercepts. All right, what's the domain? All real numbers, and this graph again opens in a downward direction. So y is going to be less than or equal to 49. All right, and we use all this information to graph this. Y-intercept is 0, 13. Okay, negative 1/2, and then 6.5. I think that's, yeah, see this is, here, I'm just gonna sketch it. That's not a good, those intervals aren't very good. So let's go back over negative, let's say this is 1, negative 1/2. We'll say 6.5 is over there. 0, 13, say is right there. So that graph is gonna look something like that. And my vertex was at 1, 2, 3, way up, we'll just say that's 49. But way up there, so it should look something like that. If I was using my calculator, notice I'd have to make my my y, let's say go up to 50. And my graph will look something like that. Okay, guys? All right, so I hope that helped you guys out a little bit using standard form. For examples, I'll put the answers on Schoology. For these two guys, you're doing the exact same thing that you did on that first page, okay? All right, so I hope that helped you out a little bit, and talk to you guys soon.